Hello again, friends. You know, from time to time, we'll get an inquiry through our Facebook, through our Twitter, through our Instagram, people asking us about how we improved our sound quality so quickly. And really, there's only one answer to that question, and that's we found the right space to record in. We found a professional studio space at a place here in Toronto called Ildsgel Collective. And I'm happy to say, as of last week, we are now official members of Ildsgel. Now, this isn't a paid advertisement. They're not sponsor of the show. We just love this place. We love the people here. And we wanted to pass along to anybody out there who's looking to start a podcast, start a business, who's an artist, and just wants a really cool kind of space to work in. And I can tell you, as a podcaster, this place has been nothing but a blessing. The sound quality that we get within the recording spaces here is freaking amazing, and we couldn't really ask for anything more. So if you're looking to start a show, definitely check these guys out. Without further ado, let's start the show.
Meanwhile, back on the podcast, four colossal nerds named Saba, Chris, Kristina, and Frank have set out to take on a great darkness that has enveloped the world of fandom. With their powers of common sense and the strength to take on even the most butthurt Twitter mobs and insufferable comment section trolls, they fight for truth, objectivity, and nuance in the conversation and debate over fictional made-up shit.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Meanwhile Back on the Podcast. I'm Frank.
I'm Kristina.
I'm Saba.
And do we have a Star Wars filled episode for you today? I'm sure you guys all know that the last couple of weeks has been action-packed in the world of Star Wars. Not only did we get Disney Plus that brought us the new series, Mandalorian, but we've also got a new Star Wars video game on the shelves right now, Fallen Order. It's available for PS4 and Xbox One, and I believe PC now too. So wanted to start off by just talking about Fallen Order a bit. Me and Saba had an opportunity to go out and pick up the game, and we've played it a little bit, and I gotta say, Star Wars video gaming is back.
I love it.
I love it too. And
I love story.
It has story, and that's what I love about this game. You know, we're getting back to a place where the storytelling in this game is actually going to matter to the canon. It's actually of consequence. Not that it wasn't in Battlefront 2, but I just didn't feel the connection to the Star Wars universe by playing the role of a disillusioned Empire officer. It just didn't really speak to me, you know? So I'm glad to be back in the boots of a Jedi. I'm glad to have a lightsaber in my hand.
Yeah, starting off with one is like a big thing.
Yes.
Also, the fact I really do love like how they motion captured the actual actor behind it as well.
Yep.
Man, he's got some great hair. Great hair. There's a nice swoop in there. That's the first thing I noticed.
He's got a swoop in his hair.
Yeah, it's honestly a great game. I really like the gameplay itself is really cool. You know, you have that tutorial in the beginning. I don't know if we're giving spoilers away or not. We're both not far in the game, so we don't have a lot to spoil.
We're not that far yet. No.
Yeah, I think I'm on the third planet, but
she's playing on Jedi Knight. I'm playing on Jedi Master.
I'm going to switch.
Just want to stipulate that.
Okay, I'm gonna switch. I just like clicked OK and go, but you can switch it midway. I'll switch.
Yeah.
I'll
you have to switch.
No, it's fine.
It's not a competition.
Oh, but obviously it is.
I'm just trying to...
I was doing this, so I was like, I'm gonna get a nice recap. So, you know, I'll play through some of it. But you know what? I'm switching because it's now a competition.
I'm just trying to explain while I'm still on the planet of Zepho.
Yeah,
okay?
but I'm also on the same planet.
You're trying to say you're better at video games.
No, I'm not.
Anyway, I'm also on the planet of Zepho. I just got there. But I got it. I didn't pre-order it. I just like went the next day and picked it up.
Did you really?
Yeah, it was like there. Like,
Because when I went to pick up my pre-order, they were like, you pre-ordered, right? And I was like, yeah, I pre-ordered. He goes, good, because we're all sold out.
No, well, I was visiting my hometown that weekend because it was my mom's birthday. Mm-hmm. So I just went to the EB Games. Like, actually, my brother went there. And I was like, can you let me know if it's there? And he just bought it. He's like, yeah, it's there. And I e-transferred him.
Oh,
nice.
That's
cool.
A story. Anyway, that was a really great story there. But yeah, the game itself, the gameplay is really good. I really like the world. I will say it took me a second when you first are controlling me, like, where the fuck do I go? And then I'm like, oh, I go and slide down this thing. Like, that took a second longer than I thought. I do think it's interesting the sort of the experience points or the skill points. It's like sort of like a sphere grid. It harkens back so a lot of RPGs. Which
Yeah,
I
a lot of RPG stuff.
Love playing RPGs.
Yeah.
It's my favorite genre of gaming. So to see that, but then I always get the issue. It's like, which way do I want to go? Do I want to go defense? Do I want to go attack? Is it force? So lately, I'm kind of doing attack defense, and then I will worry about the force.
Okay.
But I do like it so far.
I'm building up my lightsaber skills as fast as I fucking possibly can, because it's the first game that I've had in a long time where there's actually a lightsaber combat system. You know what I'm saying?
And like combos.
Yeah, and combos, right? And in Battlefront, you got to play as Luke Skywalker in one mission, right? But there wasn't really like anybody that could oppose you with a lightsaber or an actual melee weapon. Like you're just literally fighting stormtroopers, right? So it just wasn't as fun as this. And you know, honestly, I think some big pluses of this game is I like the marriage of the free running engine that the Drake series had, or sorry, the Drake, Nathan Drake, Uncharted, the Uncharted series has with this game. I really like playing like that. But I also like that I'm literally looking for like relics that are going to help me build the Star Wars mythos. I think that's fucking really, really cool. Yeah.
And that is interesting. Like the whole scanning and like BD1, I really like him.
Really
as
like
a
BD1's
unit.
great. Yeah.
He seems cool. I also like your like pilot, Grease. What's his name again?
Grease, yeah.
Yeah, he's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I do think, there's a lot. And because it's canon, I wonder if we'll see this tie in somehow. But like how it'll tie into the whole universe. Because I think it's really interesting that there is this like list of... Oh, wait, I don't want to... Okay, no spoilers. I'm not going to say anything.
They give away a pretty big planet right away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But just in case you guys haven't gone that far, maybe we'll like touch in with you like a week or two from now. But I do like the gameplay so far. I like the fact that you can sort of like reflect like the little lasers that are coming at you. The graphics are great.
Graphics are great.
I haven't run into really any glitches or anything.
Nope.
Thus far.
No glitches.
And yeah, I'm excited to sort of play through and really excited to see like the story expand and like what other characters I might end up meeting.
Did you have anything that popped out at you that you didn't like? Because I definitely have a couple issues with the game.
The issues I had with the game, let me think. Sometimes they don't tell you how to do things. You need to figure out yourself, which is fine. The map was kind of confusing for me.
The map's definitely challenging. It's not something I've ever seen before. Like it's 3-dimensional. You've got the control of changing the levels from the first, second, or third, depending on how many. It is confusing, without a doubt. My problem was when you're using the targeting system, like when you're targeting an opponent, like having the wherewithal to switch it, like as you're fighting.
It's hard.
It's definitely a fucking challenge, right? Without a doubt.
Like finger gymnastics.
Yeah, 100% finger gymnastics. That was definitely a challenge. And I didn't feel like the block function was fast enough.
I wonder if that's something that'll improve.
I don't know.
I think it might with the defense, because it is like a really arbitrary block.
Yeah.
As of now. The targeting, I'll give you that for sure. It's a little like, I don't know.
It's not as user-friendly as it could be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what are you playing it on?
I'm playing on, what do you mean?
Like what?
PS4.
Okay, I'm also playing on PS4.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's like a different experience for
no.
other stuff. But
I'm probably gonna play it on Switch, but like,
do they have it on Switch?
I don't know. Yeah, so I was trying to find out if it's on Switch.
I don't know if it is. I don't know if it has like the capacity.
They put a lot of games turned out to be on Switch that I was surprised at. So
yeah. Switch has actually got a lot of games that have a lot of memory. So
yeah.
But yeah, the download was like 55 gigs or some shit. So I didn't have to make room, which was good. That's why I haven't played Red Dead Redemption 2 yet, because I have to get a fucking separate hard drive. Because that game is fucking gigantic. But yeah, no, I really like this story. I'm seeing people post stuff about, living out Order 66. I like all the flashbacks to the training sessions with your master. I think that's really cool. I really like the wall running. The wall running,
I'm obsessed
is
with.
really cool. I really dig that. Because honestly, when I think of Jedis, I think they can do shit like that. I don't like the fact that I can only jump like Like I can like my jumping's limited.
I wonder if that will also improve.
I fucking hope so, because like Jedis can literally like leap
Because with all
like
the
Superman.
combo
They're
stuff,
like yeah.
I assume it might. Because there's RPGs like that where you have like these combos that you add on. So I wonder like if these are skills that you will be
Develop
able to,
over time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so. I think there will be a lot more development, especially like the grid we're at is so small and it becomes so vast. And having played like games with sphere grids, like a really big one I played like years ago was like Final Fantasy X, had like a huge sphere grid that you would basically learn everything on the map. Those weren't really combo, and it was like turn-based battle.
Right.
So it's different, but I can see them sort of doing the same thing.
Did you start modifying your lightsaber yet?
I did start a little bit. I kept it blue, and then I found a few parts and like I've updated it. But
Cool.
I do like how the color changed on like the controller for like the lightsaber, which is cool. If you change it to green, like the light changes on your.
For real?
Yeah, it did because I changed it to green for a second and the light.
Oh
changed.
shit! I didn't notice
So
that.
yeah,
Okay.
that's pretty cool.
Well, I changed over to green lightsaber because of Luke. I wanted a
I
white.
did blue because of Luke.
I wanted a white. Yeah, I know. We said both.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I wanted a white, but it didn't have white. So
Not yet,
there you
maybe.
go.
Yeah.
And yeah, what was the other thing I was gonna say? Did you how are the puzzles for you? Are you on the puzzles yet?
No, I'm not on the puzzles yet.
You're not on the sphere puzzle yet?
No.
Okay.
Because look at confusion.
Yeah.
means no.
Okay. All right. The puzzles are definitely challenging. I think they got that from Uncharted as well.
Yeah, I think I remember hearing this. People complained about it.
The puzzles are challenging, but you can do them. Like, you know, there's a little bit of. Yeah, the first one's on Zepho.
Okay.
Yeah, the 1st
I'll
one's
get
on
there.
Zepho, and yeah. So you didn't go to the other planet first. You went to Zepho.
No, I went straight to Zepho. I didn't go to
Okay.
the other plan.
Yeah, I did that too.
Fuck. Yeah, could you have gone to the other one?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Damn, I didn't even think about it. I was like, I gotta get this. I
wasn't ready to go there. I just was like, no, I'm not going there yet. Fuck that.
Well, there's that thing. It's like there's some people you're not supposed to fight yet. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, there's that huge thing on the first planet you get to, and I'm like, I'm not gonna fight you yet.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
like huge creature in the distance.
Yeah, and if you've watched Clone Wars, like that's not a planet you just want to go to willy-nilly. Like
Yeah.
it's just not a good choice.
Yeah.
So I wanted to learn how to fucking fight and learn how to defend myself before I even thought about doing that.
Mm-hmm.
The guys with the rocket launchers are idiots.
Oh, I know.
Like they're so dumb for enemies. And the fucking stormtroopers, I have a theory now. I think stormtroopers are so bad in the movies because they don't want to shoot towards Jedis because they literally will reflect the blast bolts back at them so easily.
Yeah, because it is the reflecting thing is so cool.
It is. It's really dope. But it's too easy.
It does seem too easy for now, but I wonder moving forward if it won't be.
gets harder. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
The woman of color who plays your
Sarah, C-R-E.
Ceres, is that her name?
I think it's C-R-E.
C-R-E?
C-E-R-E, sorry.
Sarah? Okay. That's Deborah Wilson from Mad TV back in the day.
That's cool.
Yeah. That's Deborah Wilson.
I'm going to look her up because
Yeah.
I used to watch Matt TV.
I was blown away by that. I was like, what the fuck? Like, why is she in this video game? This is very interesting.
I know that is like, I want to be motion captured. Oh my gosh, it is. I want to be,
Yeah,
oh my
it's
gosh,
Deborah
I
Wilson.
recognize her.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to be motion captured.
Yeah.
Someone motion capture me.
She used to
in a
do the
video game.
craziest skits. Like, she was actually really funny.
Yeah.
So to see a comedian in this game was kind of interesting. And then I think the guy who's playing your pilot, he's another comedian. I think it's Horatio Sands.
Oh.
I'm not 100% sure, but I think that's him too. Because he's in Mandalorian as well. He's the first guy that gets thing.
So I wonder how. So we're talking about canon stories. So
Yeah.
like this story is going to be canon.
And they have a comic book for it.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So then the Mandalorian then is also.
Well, I think we know how it fits into how the game fits into the canon because of the information that you get about what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I don't know
So-
how much we can. We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Eventually.
Yeah, I think they can tie that back to a lot of things. I think they could tie that back to literally the sequel trilogy for sure. Because that's a pretty big piece of information based on the time that you're in and what's just taken place. And JEDI Fallen Order is pretty much happening No, it's not happening at the same time.
No, it's happening 5 years after Revenge of the Sith, right?
Right.
Whereas
Okay.
Mandalorian, I think, is about 7 years
Yeah.
after Return of the Jedi.
Right.
So like
Right,
after like monumentous events.
Yeah. Okay.
So Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Speaking of that show,
Yeah.
where do we start? I mean, I can get there's so much that happens, and there's so many new characters, and there's just so. I'm joking, obviously. It was not that I didn't like it, but it was really interesting. Like I think the opening scene really set it up. Like there's not a lot of dialogue in this show.
Not a lot of dialogue at all. It's literally like, to me, it's just echoes of The Good, Bad, and the Ugly, The Man with No Name, like all the 60s, kind of 70s Westerns where Clint Eastwood would basically come into town, kick everybody's ass, and not say a fucking word.
And just
like
leave.
And because of that, though, it feels a lot like the old Star Wars movies. I feel like there was a lot of scenes where there's less dialogue.
That opening scene.
And there's a lot of things that are just visual in the old movies. And even the colors, the way that the transitions between scenes are done.
Like the PowerPoint transitions?
Yeah.
That's what I call them?
That is
The
what
wipes?
they do in the
Yeah.
old...
The wipes?
They do that in the old Star Wars movies.
Yeah.
So-
Like the four
and they
poster.
did it in Rogue One as well. That's what made Rogue One feel more like the old movies.
Yeah,
So...
this is definitely, more connected to the OT than the sequel trilogy for sure.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of DNA from Johnson or Abrams in this show. It's definitely a giant homage to George Lucas, without a doubt.
And you can even, like, I always say, like, we saw the shot on the trailer, but when he takes the shot, like, even the way he pulls the gun, like,
The hip shot?
Yeah, like, it really much, like, reminds you of A New Hope and all that other that stuff.
Yeah.
And the character reminds me a little bit of Han Solo, but like a quieter version of Han Solo.
He does have an edge. I like that you can tell he has an edge even with the mask on.
But he also has a soft spot.
He does have a soft spot, which we'll get to in a bit.
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
I like that you can
He
almost...
starts off like a badass and then
Turns into a babysitter.
he gets a soft spot.
What babysitter? What?
He's a babysitter.
Okay.
We won't get to it yet because I want to wait for the big reveal.
That's a big revelation.
So like the Mandalorian is there and he's
there to pick up a bounty.
Yeah, he picks up the bounty and they have like carbon freeze. Like, you know what I mean? Like, is like you can just carbon freeze anyone wherever you want.
Yeah.
Before we get into the carbon freezing scene, because I actually love that, because again it's an echo back to the original trilogy. I actually hope we see carbon freezing in the sequel trilogy.
And I like how
one more movie to go, maybe, right?
I like how we see different creatures, different races.
The fucking dude, the practical effects in this show are fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
The makeup, the set design, the production design, even the sound design is fucking awesome in this show. It's so well done. And Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni have fucking nailed this thing out of the park. So
Dave Filoni directed this episode. I saw.
Yeah, it was his first live action direction job ever, and he goddamn killed it. So the one thing I wanted to say is that Pedro Pascal, like he's really like got this role down. Like you can almost tell that he has these expressions under that mask that fit the exact situation he's in.
That's what I felt when I was watching it, that like I could tell, and maybe because I know him from other things too, that might help.
I feel like he has body language.
Yeah.
Like he's doing good things.
Like he would tilt his head.
Yeah.
And kind of like in the way he spoke as well. Like he seems like, we'll see in episode 2 more when he's like frustrated, but you can kind of get it from that. But he's a man of a few words, but you kind of get what he is going after.
Yeah.
It's something that the Power Rangers had to do a lot of.
Right. That's right. Mandalorian, Power Rangers, same boat, 100%. Got it.
So they weren't as good at it.
Yeah.
They were definitely more campy.
The line where I fell in love with this series, well, no, I'm not in love with it yet, but I'm really enjoying it, was I can bring you in warm or I can bring you in cold.
Yeah.
That to me was just like, okay, this is fucking gonna be awesome. Like, this guy is a no fucking bullshit guy. And
he's just doing his job.
He's just doing his job, but he's not someone who's gonna make you laugh. Like, he's not trying, like, he's literally gonna be that quiet, hesitant hero. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I want. Like, that to me, that echoes Star Wars. Mm-hmm. We got to see land speeders again. All the little amazing tech. The bounty pucks were really fucking cool.
Yeah, that was cool.
That was really neat.
Beskar Steel.
Beskar Steel, yep. And then we got a mention of Life Day.
Yeah, there's definitely like this show is. Don't want to say relying on nostalgia, but it is that feeling. I think because we've
there's a heavy element of fan service in this show, without a doubt.
Like the opening even was like when the Lucasfilms and like I just really think that
was
opening
porn
scene,
for Star Wars fanboys.
Yeah.
That's what that opening scene was.
Yeah.
Okay, like literally. Like
there's a lot of scenes in bars. We get to go to a lot of bars.
Yeah,
and see a lot of creatures in those bars.
Yeah, and again, it has echoes of like the old Western style kind of stuff, right?
Oh, for sure.
So so before we get into the Beskar, because I want to talk about Beskar because I'm starting to make a lot of these connections, and it actually echoes back to something else I said in the previous episode. I love that scene between the Mandalorian and Karga. The one where at the table, and they're talking about the like, he's asking him about his biggest bounties and all that kind of shit.
And he's like, "There's other people in the guild." Like you see how much like a business.
There was so much exposition in that scene where you didn't really need to find out anymore.
Probably the most from the 2 episodes.
Exactly, and it establishes the state that the world is in. Right, the Empire is on its way down. Their currency may not even be worth anything anymore. So he's getting paid in calamari flan.
Calamari.
And
Yummy.
And do we all know where Admiral Akbar? He's Mon Calamari, right? So the guys with the big squid heads.
It's a trap.
It's a trap. That's a Mon Calamari.
But
so they have their own planet and their own race, and apparently they have their own currency.
And their currency's worth more than like.
That looks like ice cream. Yeah,
and it's worth more than like Empire stuff.
Yeah, because there's no more Empire. You didn't want that Empire currency.
But here's the thing. So you mentioned Karga and that scene. He also brings up the client, and he won't mention the name.
Right.
And then after he's like, "Okay, I'll meet with them." You kind of see this look on Karga's face, like, "Oh, like he knows." Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's a bigger thing there, like that he might know as well, like some sort of plan. Because the main thing is like he wants like a good bounty. Like that's what he needs. Like this is like his job. Right. And so he's like, okay, well, I'll meet with your client. I'll go and do whatever.
It was only because he didn't get paid enough, too.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he wasn't going to do it. He was like, what's your biggest bounty?
Yeah, he exchanged. He took half. Sorry. He wanted more money, and then Karga said that he could only pay him in half, but with the flan, with the Mon Calamari flan or whatever the fuck it's called. So he only got half of his bounty.
So that's why he took another mission, because he didn't make enough money.
Yeah, well, and he's probably a very enterprising bounty hunter. He's got
but also if you're a bounty
ship
hunter,
to run
there's
and
costs.
all that shit.
Yeah, because you have to pay for everything as you go.
He literally says that. He goes, "I can't even buy fuel with that shit."
Yeah.
Right? So, so we get to see a little bit more of the cast as we move along, and we got Carl Weathers, Apollo Creed, Predator. He was in Happy Gilmore. Great actor. He's going to be playing this Grief Karga guy. So he's running the Bounty Hunters Guild, basically. So he's handing out all the jobs. He's managing all the jobs. So this character will be an interesting. He'll play an interesting role in kind of how this story probably develops. And then he gets sent off to go see some mystery client. The door opens, and we're surrounded by fucking stormtroopers.
Yeah, that was my favorite scene, so I wasn't expecting it.
Because it still exists, like, you know what I mean? You can't kill like.
Well, they're like the Nazis, right? Like after they got kicked out of Germany and Russia and all the other places they were occupying, they went underground, right? And they still operated. They were trying to get back on their feet, right? So that's where I'm gonna liken back to what I was saying about the whole Operation High Jump thing with the Beskar Steel to me was like the stolen Jewish gold. That's the way I kind of saw it.
And they're trying to like get it back.
It seemed like it had some kind of religious
like cultural
implication or cultural
implication. But it's like, the Nazis financed their war machine with whatever they stole from the Jews, right? Whatever they stole from the Jewish people was what financed their war machine, right? So I think this is the same
kill
thing.
The Jewish people.
Yeah. So I think this is almost kind of the same thing. And I said in a previous episode.
Well, it's an analogy to it.
Yeah. That's what I'm like. What I'm trying to say is, I think that the creative team from Star Wars takes more from world history than we're really aware of. You know what I
It
mean?
makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, so the Mandalorians did have like this whole like great sort of purge that happened to them, right? And
Yeah,
we
and they
kinda
took
see
their resources and their gold and all
we
that.
see
Yeah.
a flashback of this, right? And he once he receives this, like this is his thing, like okay, I think like regardless he was going to take the deal, but I think the Beskar steel because he's like you get this now and you get this other thing after,
Yeah,
right?
because he wants to like. I think the fact that he's in this shabby armor, like literally looks like it doesn't look like
It's like
Beskar, right?
You're just pulling in together what you have.
Yeah, he's just pulling what you have. I think his goal is to build himself another suit of armor.
Yeah.
So this idea that he can get as much Beskar steel as he needs to build a complete armor set is something that's very alluring to him, right? So that's why he's taking these shitty jobs.
And he goes to the armorer and she like kind of like molds it for him, like whatever. And it's a really great scene and we kind of
Fantastic scene.
Yeah.
Yeah. And did you guys get the religious connection that I did? Like, cause like okay, so before we jump into that though, I want to also mention, did you guys notice that the stormtroopers looked like they were just hanging on by a thread?
They did. They were real messy.
They were fucked.
Yeah, they looked like dirty. They weren't white.
They had that, what do you call it?
Weathered.
They had carbon burns, like laser burns, like all over, right?
Yeah.
It looked like they were literally hanging on by a
just
thread.
like don't wear the suit, guys. Like just take it off.
Well,
for
that's
a
what
second.
surprised me. I was just like, why are you still stormtroopers after all? You can be anything else. You can have better armor. You can have regular clothes.
That and Werner Herzog's character, the crime lord or the warlord or whatever, he's like dressed to head to toe like a fucking pimp. He's got a giant medallion. He's got a giant medallion
and
on.
robes. He's
and
wearing
robes and shit.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
clearly,
like, try not to like draw attention to yourself. Like a stormtrooper outfit, even if you didn't know what a stormtrooper was and you just saw someone in that outfit, your eyes would go look.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
I think that's
Yeah.
like what Frank alluded to, that they still have this. They're still attached to their old culture, and they're trying to bring back their old regime. So they're still like stuck in.
They're
whatever.
still fighting for their beliefs, for their ideals, right?
Yeah.
This empire united under one emperor, right? Even though the emperor's fucking dead by now. What else? I was going to ask you.
We don't know what their mission or cause is at this point in time.
No, but
it could have changed.
True, but because of all the stuff that we know about Operation Cinder now, right? All the shit that Palpatine was doing behind the scenes to set up after he died, they could be working on some sort of plan for that right now too, right?
I thought when they went to the other planet that was Jakku for a second. Like
Which planet?
The one that they go to.
Oh, okay.
Later on, like that's what I was thinking too in terms of Operation Cinder.
Shit.
But we don't really. I don't think it is.
The planet's not named.
I think it is named like Alvara.
Oh, is it?
7 or something.
Oh,
I have
okay.
to look it up.
Okay.
I think it's Arvala 7. I think so.
Okay.
But we have to see how this all connects.
Yeah.
In the end, like where is the storyline going to fall among? Because this is before like the First Order, so this is before the trilogy that we know now. Like the trilogy that is currently coming out.
What did you guys think of Werner Herzog as the Empire's?
I like the way he said
warlord.
parsec.
He did say parsec very well.
He has like an interesting.
Does he scare you? Like, does he look like he wants to eat your children? Because that's what he looks like to me. Like he comes across that way.
He didn't.
Kind of a terrifying
creepy.
dude.
He was really creepy.
I feel like that's a good vibe.
Yeah. I think he did a great job. I'm really looking forward to see the bigger role that he plays after the Mandalorian fucks him over, how he responds to it. Blah, blah, blah,
and
blah,
I
blah.
think there was some kind of manipulation at play because of what we see in the next scene.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So let's talk about the Mandalorian and the whole the forge and the smith. So I saw that as a very like religious thing.
It did seem like a religious experience.
I almost kind of saw the smith as like the head of the religion, because their religion is based on weapons and based on war and based on combat. Like, wouldn't it make sense that the weaponsmith would be like kind of like a priest figure?
Yeah. He did say weapons are part of his religion.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And we know that Mandalorian culture is very much rooted in combat and conflict.
And her costume looked gold, like her outfit looked like it was
and
gold.
her helmet was like very different.
Yeah.
And did you guys catch the part where she said, "Has your signet been revealed yet?"
And he's like, not yet.
Not yet.
But it will be. She said, but it will be.
That's something to come. And I actually Googled that because I wasn't like, being as much a Star Wars fan as I am, I wasn't too sure about what that meant.
So what is it? Is it like his persona, I guess? Like
no, it's like so it's like a ring. It's like a physical symbol to indicate your allegiance to something. Could be the Jedi, could be the Empire, could be the Republic, could be whatever. So apparently there's something else going on in the background in terms of the Mandalorian's mission outside of his work as a bounty hunter.
Oh, okay.
That's what I think that alludes to.
So it's like, okay, it's like his cause in life or something.
Yeah, like he's taking on some sort of mission, probably,
Like
having to do with his
mission.
clan.
Okay.
Probably having to do with his Mandalorian clan. That's my guess.
Okay.
Yeah. So they go to that next planet. He's hunting down his bounty.
He has that fob with him.
Yeah.
And instead, though, he meets a fun little character.
Cool or cool or
Annoying character.
I loved him. I loved him.
The blue guy? Is
Yeah.
I found him annoying.
No, the pig guy.
The
the pig guy. Oh, yeah, okay.
He's like an Ugnaught.
Yeah,
Ugnaught.
I liked
He's
him.
an Ugnaught,
I
yeah.
didn't like him when we first met him, but he grew on me.
I like the whole. It's like the scene is interesting because he's like, "Why are you here?" And he's like, "I'm here because like I want to like, I'm here for this bounty." And his whole thing is like, "Okay, like I'll help you because you're a Mandalorian. Like I just want people are like disturbing my peace.
Yeah.
And they keep coming here.
Yeah.
And he doesn't want that. Like he is a man who has kind of earned his freedom, it seems, and is like, I don't want people coming through. And because you're a Mandalorian, I will help you. So
I got the vibe that he's just like retired. He's chilling on his ranch.
Yeah,
like
that's true.
He kind of said something like that. He's like, "Oh no, I did all my work. Like I'm just resting at this point."
Yeah, he said that in the second episode.
Yeah.
He alluded that his days of servitude were over.
Yeah, like essentially, I'm retired. Leave me alone.
Yeah.
And then he tells him about the horse lizard thingies, blurgs. Is that what they're called?
The blurgs. Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun.
But we get to see before even that the Mandalorian fucking flamethrower and all that shit. So we get to see his arsenal.
Yeah.
Get to see his full arsenal that's literally attached to his entire body. Like they're basically a walking armory. That was pretty fucking cool.
I like that despite that, he still couldn't fight off two of those.
The blurgs?
Yeah, two of the blurgs.
Yeah. I didn't really like the blurg training scene. I gotta be honest with you. It kind of felt kind of fucking hokey. Like
I liked it because he was like, "Why am I doing this? I don't have time for this. Like,
Well,
don't you have a spaceship?"
Well, yeah, but then he's like,
closer?
yeah, but then he's like, he's like, you have to learn how to do this because it's the only way to get there. I'm sorry, I don't buy that shit. It's fucking, it's space.
It's the only way to get there. I feel you. I was like, can you get a speeder? From
Yeah,
somewhere?
like what
Well,
the
that's
fuck?
what he said, and the old guy's just like, "Now this is how we're going." Sorry.
It's like a Yoda-like thing, though. Like
yeah,
Yoda.
I felt like
degree.
the old guy did it just because he wanted to see if he could if he could tame the blurg.
Yeah, no, I think that was part of it too.
I
but I
think it
also
was part of him trying to see who he's dealing with and what kind of character this person is.
I think that may be part of it, but I think it was more or less the creative team trying to echo back to more Wild West kind of stuff. The
But
breaking
also
of the
felt very
stallion,
Star Wars.
all that kind of shit. Yeah, it's of Star Wars because it's a goddamn blurg, but you could
No,
but you could throw a horse in
Star
there and
Wars
it'd be the
in
exact
the
same
sense
thing.
that it's an elder person trying to teach a younger person
Well,
a
that's true.
lesson.
It's like
instead
Empire
of
Strikes
taking a
Back.
shortcut.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
like
that's
Empire
true.
Strikes Back when he's like when Luke is doing the headstand and like
Yeah.
Yoda's like it's like kind of one of those
It's
things.
kind of like it's not totally necessary. There's for sure other ways to get there, but the
Yeah.
old guy is doing something.
Yeah.
He's testing something.
And he's like,
Yeah.
I like his whole thing. Like when he's finished, he's like, I have spoken.
Yeah.
I'm like,
love
damn,
that.
I'm gonna pull that line as soon as someone cuts. I'm gonna like, you know what? I've spoken.
That's what we're
like
calling
that.
it. That's what we're calling this show, by the way. We have spoken.
Yeah, guys.
That's like,
The
I'm done
Mandalorian
talking
after
to you
show.
now.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you guys find that the timing of Kuhl's mouth movements weren't on par or like weren't up to speed with his actual dialogue?
I didn't get that.
I didn't get that either. I could have just not noticed.
Maybe there's something wrong with your TV.
I really wanted behind the scenes of how this character was created, because clearly it's somebody in an Ugnut suit with
Nick Nolte's
with Nick
face.
Nolte voicing it, because that's not Nick Nolte, obviously. But I think Nick Nolte does a great job voicing this character. But I want to see how this character was created, because it just doesn't visually play with me in terms when it's talking.
Yeah.
When it's not talking, I'm good. When it is talking, it kind of feels like very puppety.
Something about the visual of this character did bother me. That's
Yeah.
why I wasn't a fan at first, but he grew on me. I liked his
does grow on
personality.
me.
So
I like the Ugnaughts though. The
Yeah.
Ugnaughts are a cool character. So Cool takes him, or Kuel, or whatever the fuck his name is, takes him back, takes him across the wasteland, the desert, to where his bounty is being held.
Yeah, in
And
this
it's-
facility.
And it's pirates and Transdoshans, and
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of the pirate race, but it's very specific. It's not coming to the top of my mind. Anyways, they're being held, or the bounty's being held, and then as he's overlooking from a cliff, trying to survey his the area that he's going into,
IG-11.
IG-11
comes
shows
in,
up,
guns a-blazing.
yeah,
a fucking bounty hunter droid,
that was great.
and
I like that.
I love this sequence. And the reason I love this sequence is because his movements were so mechanical and jerky.
Yeah.
Like, it didn't seem smooth at all. And that's
Yeah.
like, and it felt more authentic. Like,
Yeah.
like if you
Also,
actually,
Taika Waititi.
and Taika Waititi.
Also, he was
100%.
like really good fighter. It hardly made any sense.
Well, he's a droid, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it hardly made any sense that
Yeah.
they sent an actual bounty hunter too. So that's why somebody manipulated this situation somehow. Like,
Oh,
why are
without
they
a doubt.
both there?
Without
Like-
a doubt. Yeah. No, without a doubt. He was my theory is IG-11 was there to kill the Mandalorian too. At
I think
some
so
point.
too. I
Yeah.
think so too.
Yeah,
I don't
at some
know.
point.
Yeah.
For me, I just
Yeah.
love how his first thing was like, hey, self-destruct. Like, I gotta do this. Like, each time. And Mandalorian's like, no, don't self-destruct. You cannot
Yeah.
do this.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Which is funny. It's like, that's my reaction when things are going wrong. You know what? I'm just gonna die now. This is the end. This is it. I'm done.
And that was such a Taika thing too. He's just like, yeah, I'm gonna trigger my self-destruct.
Well, because the robot can see the probability of it ending.
Well, it doesn't want to be
badly.
captured.
Yeah.
It doesn't want to be captured.
Yeah, so the robot sees that the probability is that he's going to be captured,
Yeah.
whereas the human is like, nah, I can do this. Like,
Yeah.
there's a way
Yeah.
out of this.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's
no,
like
for
a very
sure.
human thing.
Do you think it was too much that they beat all those people? I was like, really?
No, because the IG robot,
it was
the
pretty good?
the IG droid, he literally had two guns, and he's not made of flesh and bone, so he's gonna stand up to the punishment a lot longer, and he's got two fucking guns, and the's no recoil.
He
Like,
had
you don't
more
see
than
any
two
recoil.
guns. He had guns in his hands. He had guns in his head. Like, he was
No,
made
he didn't have a
of
gun in his
guns.
head. What?
Yeah, he was shooting out of his forehead.
No,
and
it
stuff.
wasn't.
Oh,
No.
I don't know.
Those
I
were
don't
his
know.
eyes, dude.
I don't know. I thought they were guns.
No, those were his eyes. So there's literally no recoil from the guns. So when you're not experiencing recoil, your accuracy is like ridiculously high, right? So I'm not surprised that they beat all those guys. And I love that final scene where that floated the Gatling gun comes in,
Yeah.
and then the Mandalorian pulls out that his little harpoon, pulls it away, jumps on it, and just blasts fucking everybody.
Yeah, that's how
really
they won.
fucking cool.
That's how
really
they won.
cool
If
scene.
they didn't take over that gun, they wouldn't have won.
Yeah, really, really cool scene. I really, really enjoyed that. And
But
then
I also love how annoyed he was at the droid. He's like, "Oh, fucking droid! Like, what the hell?"
Yeah.
And then he was like annoyed that the droid was even there.
yeah, he does not like droids. That's for sure. He didn't want to take one when he was trying to get his first
yeah,
bounty
he
back.
Didn't. Yeah.
Yeah,
But also because the droid was so black and white, it had no like ability to see a gray area.
well, I think that's
and-
part of it. And I think
yeah.
he thinks that droids can be manipulated and coerced, right?
Yeah.
So that makes sense. And then the doors open on the compound, and we see this floating little ball. He presses the button,
Guys.
Oh, this is the best.
and boom, Baby Yoda.
Guys, can I tell you
Such a cute
something? When I
baby,
saw
yeah.
it, I was like, I freaked out. I was watching my brother, and I was like, I would die for you. I would like give my life. I would adopt you. My ovaries like went into overdrive. Like, I cannot even explain the feeling. Like, I honestly, this is why I didn't want to talk about it. Like, you guys were asking me before, like, what do you think? And the only thing that came to mind is like Baby Yoda. Like,
your
I love.
ovaries exploded.
I love
for
this
Baby
child.
Yoda.
I don't know who this child is, but I love it. I love it. I would do anything for this child. Like, honestly, I can't even. And then the whole second episode, I just kept saying, "Oh my gosh, you're so cute. You're so cute." And my brother was like, "Can you stop?"
So
Anyway, that's just my first spiel on Baby Yoda.
If there's a young man out there that resembles Yoda at all, I think you have a shot. So reach out.
I mean, it was more of a motherly vibe, but yeah.
Well, I'm just saying, it's better,
Yeah.
that's your best chance, probably,
Yeah.
right?
I ended up seeing a meme of Baby Yoda before I saw Baby Yoda, so Baby Yoda kind of got spoiled for me. But like, I died when I saw the meme. I loved it, and it was a play on the "Okay Boomer" phrase. So it's Master Yoda telling Baby Yoda something, and then Baby Yoda goes, "Boomer, okay," and then Master Yoda like snaps out of his like backwards way of speaking, and he's like, "Hey, listen here, you little shit." I love that. I had to post that.
The crazy thing. Okay, so yeah, okay, Baby I'm gonna just ignore
Baby Yoda's
that.
cute.
I'm gonna ignore the cuteness for a second and get to story. It's very hard for me.
Well, there's one last story point to this one episode,
Yeah.
right? So they're both looking at the baby, and IG-11
They're
raises
supposed
his
to
weapon.
terminate it.
Yeah, IG-11 raises his weapon, and Mandalorian says, "No, let's take it in alive." And then he says, "No,"
Because he was given a choice, Mandalorian, dead or alive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But apparently IG-11 got different orders. He was supposed to kill it. And the Mandalorian draws his weapon, shoots IG-11 in the head, and no more
So
IG-11.
That's the thing. So my two questions: if IG-11 is really gone, and then if IG-11's orders were to kill it, was he sent by someone else then?
Well,
He
right?
was definitely sent either by the same people or by other people. without
Okay,
a
so
doubt.
if we remember in the room, the Emperor guy did prefer if it came in dead, and it was the scientist who said, "No, I thought
True.
we said that it could be alive."
Yeah,
So obviously
that's
the
right.
Emperor guy sent the droid.
Yeah,
So
there's something that we glossed
yeah.
over. The
Yeah.
doctor that showed
Because
up.
the doctor is the one who wanted
Yeah.
the Baby Yoda alive.
Yeah, no, for sure. No, that
And
makes sense.
we're calling it Baby Yoda. We don't know what gender this child is. We don't know. Baby Yoda, it seems to be the collective.
And baby is not quite accurate because he's supposed
50
to be
years
50. Oh my
old.
gosh, I can I tell you something? That's a
50
race I
years
want.
old.
Like, if I could have that for 50 years. Oh my goodness, he's like, I can't right now.
Oh, he's
guys.
adorable. He's fucking
Like,
adorable without
man,
a doubt.
Disney's gonna
Cute.
sell so many Baby Yodas this Christmas.
Oh my god, yeah, I know.
The
eh?
marketing for this is
Holy shit.
like, I'm like, will I buy one? I'm an adult woman.
Holy
Do I need
shit.
one of these?
Holy shit. No, it's so fucking true.
I will probably end up buying one, just like
Yeah.
because like Baby Groot also melted my
Oh.
heart, so it's like melting my heart.
I
in
tell
the
you, this
same
is more
way.
than Baby Groot for
Yeah.
me. This is the whole new
I
experience.
thought
I want to see a fight between Baby Yoda and Baby Groot.
No,
That's
they'll
what I
just
want
hug
to see.
each other, be best friends, and then I'll cry.
No,
Like,
I want to
would
see a
honestly
fight.
cry.
No, I want to see a fight. I want to, because like Groot fights, Yoda's got the Force.
Yeah.
Baby Yoda has the Force.
Baby Groot is like feisty.
I know he
Yeah.
fights.
Baby Yoda's just gonna put him in his place. Baby Yoda's just gonna be like,
Go to sleep. Well, this is okay. So going back to the show,
Yeah.
I really like the end credits, which looks like the concept art for
Yeah,
the
it's
show.
really cool.
Yeah.
It's really
I love
cool.
that kind of stuff. Like,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I could pull that as like a screensaver or
Yeah.
something on like my laptop.
yeah,
or
it's
something.
cool.
How do you guys feel about the music? I'm not feeling the music at all.
I didn't notice the music.
The
yet.
music.
It's not very.
Sometimes they harken
yeah.
back to like what they had in like episode 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah.
But the end credits, I wasn't like, it's not anything like crazy.
No,
for
Yeah,
me.
I
I
didn't
don't
really
dig it.
listen to the music on the end credits.
It's not something that pops out at me
No.
as of yet. But
I'm like,
see.
why couldn't they get John Williams to do this series? Like, that's
Yeah.
what I want. I want John Williams to do this series.
damn.
So let's move on right into episode 2, because this is a 2-parter. So we get this amazing opening fight sequence. The Mandalorian's crossing this kind of cave, kind of trench area with Baby Yoda in the ball, and the ball floats, which
Yeah.
is really
Oh
dope.
my gosh, he just,
Yeah, it's
Like a
cool.
floating baby
around.
carriage.
It's like a stroller, yeah.
Yeah,
I
every
love it.
every mother in the world right now is like, "Fuck you, Elon Musk! Stop with the cars. Stop with the solar.
And it follows
Build
him.
me a floating
He doesn't
goddamn
have to
baby
do
carriage."
anything.
I know.
It
As
just
someone like,
follows
I don't
him.
like have kids, but like I have nieces and nephews, and my brother and my sister-in-law have like 4 kids.
Yeah.
And the stroller stuff is crazy.
Yeah.
Like getting all of them. So yeah, I could totally see that.
Yeah, no, it's definitely something that would be welcomed by the market right now. Yeah, so they're crossing this little like trench area, and they come across three Transdoshans. 3 Transdoshans, big fuckers, big axes,
And they have their own
And-
tracking fob.
and they have their own tracking fob, and he manages to take them down in close quarters combat. 2 of them down. The third one is running towards Baby Yoda, and we get to see the first ever Star Wars disintegration I thought that was the fucking coolest thing ever because
he did.
because Darth Vader literally says to Boba Fett in Empire Strikes Back, no disintegrations. And I thought I would never get to see a disintegration,
But we did.
but I got to see a disintegration, and it was fucking awesome.
We've only waited like 30 years.
And it was done with like this little this fucking rifle that looks like it could be in like the Civil
weaponry
War.
was really interesting
Yeah.
for me, like to see his arsenal. So he has the
Yeah.
flamethrower. He has like this rifle.
Yeah.
He also has like he can fight with like a staff of sorts. And,
Yeah,
Yeah, I
it's
like
like
it.
it's like a stun tuning fork. It's like a fucking tuning fork. He like stuck it in the
that's
Transdotion
like
guys a couple times.
Yeah, that reminds me of something like you would see people who hunt game, like large game, have things like that. So
Have a big tuning fork?
like a stick that zaps.
a thing at
oh,
the end of
yeah,
their
yeah.
rifles or something,
Yeah,
maybe. Yeah. But yeah, we see that fight scene and then he is injured in that. And then he like, oh my gosh, this scene. So guys, I'm sorry. Every time he comes up, I'm going to lose it. You just have to expect that from me now.
He got cut deep
He
too.
got cut really deep. And then
Yeah.
like you see Baby Yoda looking at it and then he comes out and his hands just like out
But
there.
he wants to heal it with the
And
Force.
then he picks them up and I was like, oh, I wish I could just pick.
Yeah.
I would cuddle with that baby. Anyway, but like he tries to do something and he's just like, nope, you go back in here.
Yeah.
I wonder what Baby Yoda thinks. Like,
And he
yeah, it's a
climbs down
baby.
another time too.
I know.
He gets down twice.
I wonder what Baby Yoda thinks. Like, I wonder what he thinks is happening to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he seems to be choosing to follow the Mandalorian too. Like,
I think he's choosing to fall because he fucking has the Force. Like,
yeah, because he does.
must know
I guess
something.
like he was trapped wherever he was, and now he's like, cool. This guy like freed me. I'm gonna follow
well, I
him
think
around.
I think he can sense he's at least a decent guy. He saved his
Yeah.
life. He saw him save his life, right?
Yeah.
And then also the fact is that like he's 50, which is young in like that species years.
Yeah.
So like Yoda lived to be like 900 something,
Yeah,
right?
1,000 or some shit.
Or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
So, but I would imagine that he probably doesn't have like a lot of speech ability. Oh my gosh, if he starts talking.
He's like, so he's like 5.
Like no, 5-year-olds talk. girl. Like okay, usually kids start talking at around like we'll start babbling a little bit or like forming kind of words at between 1 and 2 ish.
Yeah.
And then 2 is when you kind of get like sentence forming, right? Or like 2 to 3 is like sentence forming more,
Mhm.
and then like and it's different between girls and boys. But yeah, like so in terms of, but he seems like different than a human baby. Like he has other capacities that human babies don't have.
Obviously, yeah. I love the little hand when he was reaching out too. The little fingers
Oh
and
my
the
god,
nails
everything's adorable.
and the little
Yeah.
nails. Yeah, yeah, he's great.
But
He's
so yeah,
awesome.
they head back and they're like they
He
head
even
back to
has
their,
like little hair on his head.
know.
he
he
does
does.
have hair. Yeah, yeah.
but they
I
head
noticed that.
back and lo and behold, his ship. This is something I was not expecting to see. Jawas.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
Jawas.
that was cool.
And not only that, but like sand crawlers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, because then I was like, are we on Tatooine? Like, I was like, why are there so many fucking sand planets? There's just a lot, but I guess they're like on the outer rim somewhere. Like, it felt like an outer
Yeah.
rim kind of planet.
Yeah, and the
Um,
sand crawler, and they have the fucking giant sand crawler
Yeah.
from the OT. I
And
love the
I
sand
loved
crawler.
how the Mandalorian tries to speak Jawa, and they're like, "You sound like,
Like
a
Wookiee."
Wookiee."
Oh yeah, yeah, that
It's like a big
happened.
insult.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
that's
happened when they went
great.
for their parlay.
I always thought Jawas were like were from Tatooine.
Just Tatooine. That's
I
it.
just
Yeah.
assumed like it was like a lifestyle choice. I don't
guess,
know.
I guess we'll find out.
But like, I guess they're not just from Tatooine because I
Guess
was
not.
like, what planet are we really?
yeah, but
on?
they can travel to play. They had a ship, so
Maybe that's why they were
something.
different colors too. Their eyes were
Yeah.
different colors as well.
Yeah.
I think. So
Their eyes were red,
yeah,
which are that's the
they're
original.
yellow in Star Wars.
Are they?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry,
Yeah.
sorry, in the OT.
Oh, okay.
So they're taking apart his ship. They're stripping the fucking thing down. The sandcrawler starts pulling away with all of his shit. And the sandcrawler looked great, by the way. Like
Yeah.
perfect
Yeah.
replication.
That was
Perfect
cool.
replication. We get this amazing stunt sequence where the Mandalorian is trying to catch up to the sandcrawler, crawl up the sandcrawler, and get inside the sandcrawler. Oh wait, we forgot to say that the Mandalorian disintegrated like 5 Jawas.
I know he did. That scene was so good though when he's like
Yeah.
chasing it, and I like how Baby Yoda is just like trailing behind.
And
like,
the ball?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that was kind of crazy to see him just zap those Jawas out of nothing. Just go poof, 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 just puffing. Yeah, so that stunt sequence was fucking fantastic. Well shot, well edited, and
Yeah.
also the effects were great.
I love Jawa just like throwing stuff down.
They're just trying to knock him down,
Yeah.
and then he gets his harpoon around. I guess maybe that's a cannon
Yeah.
or an arm or some shit, And then they all start working on the fucking thing, trying to knock
They
that
almost
thing
got
down.
him when they drove real close to that cliff. And
Yeah.
then he managed to pull himself up onto a ledge.
Yeah, and that's actually that actually happened in Indiana Jones and The Last Crusade.
Okay.
There was a tank, and he was hanging from a broken tank turret, and they drove him into the wall. So that was kind of a cool echo back to something else from George Lucas. That was kind of neat. Yeah, and then he gets up to the top, and they're all fucking waiting there for him, and boom, they shoot him with the stun guns, and he fucking falls like a ton of bricks.
Yeah.
Just backwards.
I actually wasn't sure he was going to be okay.
I wasn't sure he was going to be okay
Baby
either.
Yoda thought he was not okay.
Yeah, Baby Yoda was like just looking like, damn,
oh, shit.
son.
Damn.
Yeah, and then so then he's like, okay, I have to go to the one guy that I know on this planet.
Yeah.
He's got one connection.
Yeah, he goes back to Kuel.
Yeah, and his thing is like, you got to bargain because he said that they don't steal.
Yeah, they just strip.
And I was like, can I tell you something? Those pieces of shit are so annoying. Like, yeah, I would be so annoyed if because the way they like took his ship apart was almost hysterical. Like,
Yeah.
what? What did you take? Like, it's just so random. So they do go back to bargain, and they want this thing.
Oh, you're missing one awesome part. Baby Yoda eats the frog.
Baby Yoda
Yeah.
eats the frog, which is also cute.
Put that down. Don't eat
Yeah,
that.
get that out of your mouth.
But what are they feeding
just
him?
literally
Is he
swallows
on
that shit.
formula? Like, what is
I
he?
guess
No,
he
he's
eats
on frogs.
creatures.
Okay.
He
He's
eats
on
meat.
frogs.
You know, he's got to make sure you get that milk.
You have to
Well,
liken back to
The
the
Mandalorian's not a good daddy. He doesn't know how to
No.
be a daddy, so he didn't even
Doesn't know
think.
how to be a
He didn't even
daddy.
think about
Quote of the
feeding.
episode.
He didn't even think about feeding
That's
Baby
the first
Yoda.
thing I thought about. Is like, is he going to the washroom? Does he have a diaper?
Well, because you were in mother mode. The Mandalorian
Yeah.
was not. The Mandalorian just treated him like a regular bounty.
Can I tell you? He's like my brothers when they babysat me. Like, we think she's alive. She's probably
Yeah,
fine.
exactly. Like, he didn't care if he was hungry. He didn't ask him if he needs to eat.
Yeah.
He didn't change his diaper.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, the frog thing was funny. He just like ate it.
He's
and
probably
then-
all poopy. What the hell?
We're really digging into the type side of the story
We
that I
are.
don't
We
think
definitely
that
are.
I don't think people expected this to go.
well.
I think Baby Yoda's smelly at this point in time.
So after seeing Baby Yoda eat a frog, I have to imagine that Yoda ate some pretty fucking nasty shit.
Well, you saw. Remember when we first ran into him and he's eating that like weird porridge?
Yeah,
and,
he
like,
was eating
Empire
weird
Strikes
stuff.
Back?
Yeah, he was eating weird stuff.
And he lived
but,
on a weird swampy
but
planet.
porridge looks a lot better than fucking a frog.
Yeah, but he
You
lived
know?
on like a swampy. We don't
Have
know.
you
what was
ever
in-
had frog legs, Frank? It's not that
I
weird.
haven't had frog legs,
don't
but a
think I
raw
have either.
frog, no, not a live frog, just pop.
But
you
we don't know what was in his porridge either.
That's true.
So we don't really know.
That's true. So as Saba was saying, the Mando and Kuel, I hope we're really pronouncing that guy's name
Yeah.
right.
I feel like we're not.
They go-
That sounds not right.
they go for a parlay with the Jawas, and that's when they say your Jawa was so bad you sound like a Wookiee, which
know,
was
that's great.
hilarious.
Love that
Damn.
line.
That was great.
I like how there's like burns. Like, man, that guy sounds like a Wookiee.
And they're negotiating, trying to get his shit back. They want his best car. They wanted Baby Yoda,
Yeah.
and they wanted something else.
What were
was
they
the
gonna
other
do
thing
with
they
Baby
wanted?
Yoda?
I don't know.
Sell
Maybe eat him.
I feel like they might eat him.
Maybe
Or-
eat him.
What they sell they sell things.
They do sell too, but yeah.
So they would have known.
They were just like asking for whatever at this
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
And then they asked for the egg. The egg. We want the egg.
Yeah,
and they don't
Kuel's
know.
like, there's got to be something else. And they're like, and they started saying the egg over and over and over and over again. And we think, an egg. Okay, this is going to be a simple thing, right? Fucking Baby Yoda. Baby Yoda and the Mandalorian go to this cave. The Mandalorian goes down into it after checking all his armor and all his weapons, by the way, making sure they're all working in full functioning order. And you hear laser blasts go off. And then did he limp out of the cave?
I don't remember, but the mud horn coming out was just so memorable.
The Mudhorn.
The mud horn is that
This
what the
part
rhino's
reminded
called?
me of a video game.
That's
like
what
you
the
have-
animal's called?
I think it's called mud horn.
Oh, cool. All
Having
right.
to go on a mission to get your shit
Yeah.
back. That reminds me of a video game.
So the Mudhorn comes out, chases him down, beats the shit out of him, leaves him almost half dead. His fucking armor is splayed open. It's broken after he fucking spent time fixing it. When he was fixing his wounds and shit. And then all of a sudden, this fucking thing is bearing down on him.
I know.
And boom, it stops in its tracks. and it fucking starts floating as the Mandalorian's holding nothing but the smallest knife. It could have been bigger than a pencil.
But I love that he pulls that. Like, that kind of shows you, like, the Mandalorian, their fighting spirit.
Yeah.
Like, there's no giving. There is, like...
Oh, he wasn't going to give up.
Yeah, like, there's no such thing as that. It's like, I will fight with whatever I have until my dying breath.
Yeah, I really like that, too. But it stops the fucking... the thing stops in its tracks, and it starts floating. And then you pan over.
Oh, my goodness.
And there's goddamn Baby Yoda.
Yeah.
Look at him
with his fucking arm out. Just
lifting
using the force.
That's like shows. So like Yoda himself, like
using the force,
like he lifted up like Luke's ship,
the X-wing,
the X-wing, right? So
and he knows how to do that as like a little baby. Like nobody had to teach him. He just knows.
Their species is supposed to be extremely force sensitive, like almost the most,
without a doubt. Yeah,
because that's why he's supposed to die.
Yeah,
that's why the bad guys want him to not
for sure.
Not exist.
But yeah, like, and then he does that with his little cute hands, and it's just crazy because the Mandalorian, like himself, has never seen anything like this. Like, you can tell he hasn't, even though he doesn't have.
Well, the reason he hasn't seen anything like this because he's not actually from Mandalore. I think that's established because they call him a foundling. Like he says, I was a foundling when they do that flashback scene in number 1. They do that flashback scene. And they basically call him a foundling. So he was found by somebody and then brought into the culture because the Mandalorians are very, very well versed with the Jedi. Very well versed because they fought them. They fought the Jedi at one point. And there was actually a Mandalorian Jedi named Vizsla. Well, he was part of the Vizsla clan. And he's the one that brought the Darksaber. He's the one that had the Darksaber. So that's all canon. So if he was a Mandalorian, he'd be very well versed with Jedi, with the Force and everything. But I think because he's a foundling, he's not well aware of it. I think that also explains his armor, why it's so fucking shitty. But yeah, and then we see the Force, and then
he passes right out.
Yeah, the baby passes out. Baby Yoda's out like a fucking light.
Which I like. It shows because it's like that. He did exert a lot.
Oh, you could see the baby shaking like as it was like doing it, right?
And it shows that like there is this feeling of that like he wants to like you said like he can sense something about the Mandalorian that we can't quite sense ourselves. I mean, I think we kind of see his compassion.
Yeah,
it is there.
Yeah,
for sure. But he does end up coming back with this egg, and you're like, okay, what is it? This big reveal.
And it's furry.
You're real excited.
The egg has fur on it.
The freaking Jawas just open it up and they're like, ugh, whatever. And start eating it.
Yeah.
And they're eating the yolk, yeah.
First of all, it's like, this is the worst way to do it. Like, get some bowls. Like, it's not even the most efficient way to... I was talking about this, actually. So we recorded at a studio called Ilsgel, which is a really great studio. It's in Toronto. You can record your podcast. And I was talking about this with them before. I'm like, and we were saying the same thing, like, you can't, like, you need a plate, like, you need something, like, you didn't even share it with, like, everybody, like,
yeah, but they seem
everywhere.
Kind of savage. They don't seem like very...
Yeah, they're not very refined.
Yeah.
I know, but I was just like, damn.
Yeah, they literally pulled a knife out and cut the fucking top off of that thing and just went at it.
And then the Mandalorian is just like, what is this? And then they get all their parts back, and he's like, I can't put this together.
No.
But then this kind of feels a little bit too like a weird plot thing where Krill's like, well, I can, like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, they had like this bonding.
Convenient.
They had this bonding moment where they like put the ship back together, and they get everything ready to go. And then at the end, Mando's like, I could use somebody with your skill set, or I could use somebody that's as capable as you.
Well, he tried to pay him.
Yeah, he tried to pay him a couple times.
He wouldn't accept payment, so he said, instead of payment, would you come work for me?
Yeah, he wanted to be on his crew.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I've spent half my life trying to escape servitude or something like that.
Yeah.
Or my entire life trying to escape servitude. And he just kind of goes off on his own. So that's basically the end of that fucking episode.
Well, the one thing too, I want to quote that there's something Quill says at the end of the episode. He says about he's like, may it survive and bring you a handsome reward. And I felt like a double-edged sword there. Like, he's like, what are you going to do with this? You know what I mean? Because I don't think Quill meant it as something as simple as like, oh, hope you get a good reward out of that. Like, what is your handsome reward?
So I feel like what was his name? Cool. Cool. I can't even say it. I was trying to avoid saying it this whole time.
Fucking ridiculous name.
So I feel like that's why he was testing the Mandalorian. I think he wanted to see what kind of person he is.
Yeah, because I think he knows he won't just give him.
I think he knew what he was gonna. I don't know. Yeah, I just got the vibe that like he wants to protect the Yoda or whatever.
Yeah, whatever. We keep calling it Baby Yoda. We don't know anything.
And I
about
feel
its
like
race.
he only wanted to work with him if he was a good person, and that's why he made him like go through the tests. And I think he's hoping that he's not gonna kill the Baby Yoda because
Yeah.
at this point he still has the option to kill the Baby Yoda.
Yeah,
That's true.
And he mercilessly killed everyone else. That he froze everyone else or whatever. Like.
but this is like a
that he
child, and I
captured.
think it's like the thing is because we see a flashback of his childhood. I think in this episode, and we see him like being taken away from his parents, or like him having to be shepherded off somewhere. So I wonder if that's a thing too, where he can attack children because like he remembers being ripped away from like his kind of whatever he had gone through. That at least from the flashbacks, that's what it seemed. The other thing I think that was interesting too, which was so cute. Okay, I'm gonna do my 2 cutest Yoda scenes from this episode, and the first one. The one is like near the end of the episode where he's napping. You're like, is he ever gonna wake up?
Yeah, that was.
And
cute.
then he wakes up
cute.
and he's in space, like, oh, look at us, like we're up here, like you know what I mean. And the other cute part is when the Mandalorian first sees like the Jawas take his ship, and he's like going through everything, and then you just see like Yoda, like Baby Yoda, walking up and looking around and smiling, like, oh hey, like look at the ship.
He's so cute. I can't get over it.
So what do we think though now? So not a lot happened in these episodes. They were quite short. Not as long as we were expecting.
I didn't find them short. They were like what, 35 minutes.
They're 35
each?
minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, about
but
that.
shorter than I thought. I thought it was going to be like one of those hour kind of long shows, like
Right.
40 to 50 at least.
Yeah.
But so from the next episode, like where do you think we go from here? Like where is this connecting? Like is he going to go give this reward? What is the larger story? Like have we gotten any hints, you think?
Well, yeah, so I think since we already met what's left of the Empire, that we're going to get introduced to what's left of the Alliance. I think someone is going to be looking for this Baby Yoda or trying to protect this Baby Yoda.
Yeah. I wonder what it'll play in the future as well. Like where is this? Because this takes place right like before this new trilogy. Like is this Baby Yoda going to be in the movie?
I don't know, man. Somebody posed that question to me today. It was actually Dimitri here at Ilgedal, and I don't like that idea because he's kind of like he posited that maybe we're being introduced to Baby Yoda because it's about to show up in episode 9, like another Yoda, or another member of Yoda's race.
I feel like that's very likely to
I
happen.
don't think so, and I hope
No?
to God not. No, because like if you want to bring in Yoda in episode 9, awesome. Make him a Force ghost. Okay, I'm cool with that. We already saw Force Ghost Yoda in Last Jedi, right? He's not dead. He's a fucking Force ghost, right? So he can be in the story that way. I don't want to see another, unless it's Yaddle, like unless it's somebody that we've been introduced to. But I don't think they're gonna play that. Like I just don't think it's a smart card to play at this point. But yeah, as far as predictions, I definitely think that there was one faction of the Empire that we haven't met yet. And that's Giancarlo Esposito's character. He's Empire as well. And I guess he's a warlord just like Werner Herzog is. So maybe there's one faction of the Empire that wants Baby Yoda dead. And maybe there's another faction of the Empire that wants Baby Yoda alive. And someone sent IG-11, obviously, with his own mission.
Yeah.
And somebody sent the Mandalorian with a mission. And that's probably why there's no bounty puck and why there's no tracking information. There's nothing. It's just basically kind of like first person to get there kind of wins the race kind of deal.
But he's now also openly walking around with a Baby Yoda in this world, and some people are going to know who that is or what that is.
Yeah,
so
no.
it's definitely going to draw attention to the Mandalorian.
Sure.
And I think it's going to create people are going to be like opportunistic about it.
Sure.
So.
Well, we haven't been introduced to Gina Carano's character yet, Cara Dune. We haven't been introduced to her yet. I don't think it's too big of a stretch to think that we won't meet anybody from the Rebel Alliance or what is now the Republic again, because the Empire is gone. Well, they're out of power, so the Republic has been reestablished, hopefully. But I definitely think there's power vacuums fucking everywhere.
Yeah.
And that there's different factions of the Empire working with their own agendas. They're not all working in concert.
You can't
right?
kill an idea once it's out
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. No, I definitely think that's a part of it for sure.
I have a feeling someone's just gonna recognize the Baby Yoda as special and
Maybe Baby Yoda will wear a disguise.
well also because Kuel was asking the Mandalorian to explain what happened when the Force was used, because the Mandalorian wasn't familiar with that concept.
Yeah, he said I'd never seen it before. He said I've never seen anything like that before. That's why, like, I think that supports.
Kuel knew what it was. Kuel knew what it was, and I think he was trying to get an idea.
Maybe he does. I don't think he does.
I got the impression that he knew what it was.
I didn't really get the impression that he did. I think he was just as confused as the Mandalorian was, but maybe he's not. I don't know. Maybe he's one of the Ugnaughts from Cloud City. Who knows?
I got some kind of like knowing vibe, like he knew something that the Mandalorian didn't.
Well, if he's one of the Ugnaughts from Cloud City, there's a chance that he could know, right? So, yeah. So, any other predictions anybody else wants to make?
No, man. As long as I got some more Baby Yoda, I'm good. As long as nothing happens to that.
No
one touches a hair on that baby's head. I am good.
Nice.
Well, he can protect himself, so that's good.
Yes, he can.
Yeah. So, guys, I think we're gonna wrap it up here. We're Star Wars'd out. We talked about Fallen Order. We talked about The Mandalorian, both episode 1 and episode 2. Thank you again for joining us. We will be back with an after show for episode 3, and this show is officially going to be called "We Have Spoken," after our buddy Kuel. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, especially I'm stealing his catchphrase. Yeah, so follow us on Instagram, meanwhile_pod. Find our show wherever you get your podcasts. And again, thank you for joining us. This is Frank.
This is Kristina.
This is Saba.
Peace, guys. May the Force be with you.